Hi, good evening. Welcome back, and thanks for starting off this week with us here at Your News Today, this second week of May, this Monday falling on the 8th day of the month. Your weather forecast tonight will include, in part, high pressure rolling through the east this evening, which is going to allow a warm front to move in and set up shop. That's later going to combine with an upper level disturbance, and that's going to give us more than one chance of some showers and thunderstorms, and we'll outline that in more detail in just a few moments. A great deal of news to cover this evening. Looking ahead past tonight, the McGoffin County Rescue Squad had a few surprises and a few big bidders and items, and we'll talk about that. Indictments returned by McGoffin County Grand Jury, meetings to bring you on the local government level, and much more starting tomorrow. Tonight, however, I'm starting off a Monday as I do not want to, but with sad news nonetheless of two lives lost over the course of the weekend, one being a local teenager, as you may very well have heard by now, a senior at the McGoffin County High School. I spoke to several individuals today who shared a great deal of thoughts about Madison Nicole Allen, and I'll be sharing those with you in just a few moments and what we can about arrangements that are being made in her honor. So before we get to those reports, only a few other items to speak of this evening. One, a road closing that's going to be closed for quite some time, used by more than 1,100 folks pretty much every day, and I'll get to that in just a few seconds. A few items that will be forwarded over to the community calendar from here after for the rest of this week, but the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church is hosting their 5th annual bass fishing tournament this Saturday. That's right, they'll blast off at 7 and they'll return by 3 at the Alfrey Boat Ramp on Cave Run. The entry fee $100 per boat. As always, a big cash prize for first place of $1,000 and big cash prizes right on down the line, including the $100 per hour for the largest fish. 743-2211 if you have any questions. I'll have that number and those details up on the screen and on our calendar starting tomorrow. Also this weekend, another big fundraiser by another local organization, the Sayersville Fire and Rescue Department, as I told you a few weeks ago, are hosting their KBIF Pointed Show this Saturday. Now, this is not a fun show. This is a full-fledged second annual horse show of its type for the fire department, where they have a host of horses and equestrians coming from all over Kentucky for this pointed show. 37 classes, $5 to get in. Great concessions, a great location, and that is once again this Saturday. The gates open at 2, show will start at 4, and that too I'll forward over to tonight, or rather to tomorrow night's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. A couple announcements from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet this evening. The first, just a point of order, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet announced just earlier today that almost $54,000 in rural secondary road aid emergency funds are going to be used to repair a slip or slide in McGoffin County on Kentucky Route 3334 between mile markers 4 and 5. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is responsible for administering that work. And they are also responsible for the following announcement: a road closure in McGoffin County towards the latter part of this month. It will stay closed for some time. A section of McGoffin County Road which sees about 1,100 vehicles travel it every day. The Transportation Cabinet is going to be replacing a bridge, and the Kentucky Department of Highways, in lieu of that, will have to close Kentucky 2019 in McGoffin County. This is not until Tuesday the 23rd, so it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. And I'll remind you when it gets a bit closer, but just to go ahead and give you forewarning, the road will be closed from 2 weeks from tomorrow, May the 23rd, through late July or early August. They say they're going to make sure that it will reopen before school starts in McGoffin County. The detour is going to be posted for drivers. Message boards are going to be placed to inform everyone of the closure, and traffic can detour on via US 460 and Kentucky 1081. About 1,100 people, or 1,100 vehicles at least, use this section of 2019 every day. They're replacing that bridge. The road will be closed at mile point 5.5, just south of the 1081 intersection. You can see where the arrow is there, where 2019 1081 meets Coon Creek there, at the Raccoon Creek Bridge. So that bridge will be closed beginning on May the 23rd for several weeks thereafter, basically up and through summer and through late July, maybe even early August. Just a little warning, a little heads up, for which I'll be reminding you sometime soon. I'll be right back with our top, albeit tragic, headlines starting in just a moment. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Sadly tonight, two of our top stories center around the accidental deaths of two women from the area, one a teenager from here in Magoffin County. Members of my family are actually among countless others that are hurting tonight, hurting for two families which are hurting infinitely more than the rest of us after tragic deaths of two women over the course of the weekend. An 18-year-old, a teenager, a senior at the Magoffin County High School, embarking on the brightest and most joyful time of her life, a story that I'll get to in just a few moments. The other story centering around a 42-year-old mother of two who died yesterday after an ATV accident in Martin County. The crash happened yesterday afternoon, sometime around 6 o'clock or so in Martin County, somewhere in the area of Route 908. An Inez woman traveling by herself on a side-by-side was pronounced dead at the Highlands Regional Medical Center shortly after being discovered. 42-year-old Tracy Dalton Horn was driving a Polaris RZR when she lost control of the side-by-side. She was discovered sometime later by folks in the area who attempted CPR and other life-saving measures, as did EMS upon their arrival, but to no avail. Horn had been riding alone and had shared this serene picture of what she described as one of her favorite places to be just moments before she started her return trip home. Somewhere along the way, she lost control and was thrown from the side-by-side, which then rolled on top of her. While from Martin County, Tracy was well known to many in the viewing area and Magoffin County and Johnson County as well, for a variety of reasons, one being she was a fellow dance mom at the Dance Etc. studio, where she had actually just returned with her two daughters, Lauren and Allison, from Orlando, from the Dance Worlds competition that I reported to you just last week. Both girls danced for Elite, with Allison a member of the same team as our Lacey, the team which just returned so thrilled after winning the 8th place title in their lyrical competition. Tracy is also the wife of John Horn of Martin County, but John also is the president of Logan Corporation here in Salyersville. Services for Tracy are going to be held at the Callahan Funeral Home this Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock, with visitation from 6 to 9 tomorrow night. Yesterday was set aside to be and intended to be an emotional day for members of the graduating class of Magoffin County High School for 2017, as they were part of a ceremony yesterday afternoon where prayers were offered up for their continued education and for their lives which are just to begin out of high school. It was not expected to be as emotional as it was and tragic as it was, as one of those very seniors would lose her life in a single car crash late last night, just hours after spending that time with classmates. As I've been told, the accident happened after Maddie Allen, had left a friend's house in the Middle Fork area. She'd gone over the Larkarnet Hill to get there, but coming back, she came through down and around Route 3337, and it looks as though she came upon a really sharp or 90-degree curve on 3337, and it looks as though she braked hard enough to leave skid marks trying to stay on the road. But instead, the SUV hit the ditch line and the embankment, and then it bounced back out onto the blacktop, landing on its driver's side. And then it slid down the blacktop and came to a final rest, still on its driver's side, back in that ditch line again. And in doing so, it pinned her between the vehicle and the earth, all causing a sound not so unfamiliar to Paul and Linda Bussey and their neighbor, who ran to her aid.
I was in the house and heard a loud noise in the kitchen. I thought something had happened out back of the house, or something had hit it, or a cow had hit the air conditioner or something. And I looked down and seen a vehicle laying down there in the ditch. My neighbor, Marvin Bailey, down there, he was started down. I run and got my light, and went back down, and I got to the driveway, and I heard someone holler, "Help me." And that was about it, the last thing I heard.
Bussey said that then he and Bailey did everything they could to try to free her from the wreckage, but to no avail. Moments later, help would be arriving after 911 was called by Miss Bussey in the form of EMS and rescue and law enforcement. But it would be the coroner that would be the final call to the scene last night. And then it would be this morning, just hours later, that we would learn that it was an 18-year-old senior student at the Montgomery County High School who had been planning and packing for a senior trip for which she was to leave this Thursday, who had been practicing crossing the stage and receiving her diploma in just a couple of weeks, and who had just hours before the crash had attended a baccalaureate ceremony with her senior class at the Sayersville First Baptist Church, in which several ministers spoke of church and prayers and of the future, and even the loss of classmates that they would eventually have to endure, none realizing that it was going to happen as imminently as it did.
Yesterday, in speaking to the kids or the students at the baccalaureate, one of my goals was to remind them that we all have a graduation from this life into the next, and that graduation can come at any moment and any time. We can be called out of this world. And I was asked if I could come up and speak to the kids or the students after I'd spoken to them last night, and gotten to know several of them over the past year, and just to offer comfort, to try and help make sense out of it, which I don't think any of us can make sense out of this. I oftentimes tell people during tragedies like this, I am very good at asking questions. I'm not that good at providing answers. And during this time, our students, they just need someone to listen to them. They need someone to give them a shoulder to cry on, to be able to talk about Maddie, to laugh about her. And one of the things that I have seen today is that Maddie was loved. She was a unique young lady. Everyone I spoke to described her in much the same way. She was very quiet if she didn't know you. When she got to know you, then she was she could be a maverick. She spoke her mind. She didn't hold back. What she thought was what she said. She was very genuine. She was very open. She loved her friends, and so just hearing the students describe her and feeling the love that they had for her, it was very encouraging to my heart, even in the midst of this sad tragedy.
I knew Maddie, but not on the same level as teachers would, or obviously her peers. But my perception of Maddie was that she was always a good girl. She was a nice girl. She appeared quiet to me, but she always had a smile. And when I talked with her classmates and some of her teachers, I found all of that to be true, but I also found that once you got to know her, she had a really good sense of humor, and that students and teachers alike really enjoyed her company.
One of those teachers being Katie Wallace, a first-year agriculture instructor at the Montgomery County High School, who had Maddie 3 classes a day and knew what to expect each and every time she walked in her room.
A smile. I John on a smile. She walked in my room and she just lit up the room. I mean, you have kids, and having Maddie 3 times a day, you get to know a kid really well. And so she joked on the first day of school. I called roll in the first class that she had with me, and she said, "You're going to get to know me really well because you're going to get to see me 3 times a day." And so, being a first year teacher, I didn't know. I was like, "Wow, this is going to be fun," and it was fun. She was a fun kid. She was intensely loyal. If she loved you, she would have climbed a mountain for you. And she was a special kid. And when you saw Maddie, you saw a big smile and a laugh. She had a contagious laugh that was like nobody else's.
I think that the students and the staff have coped the way you would expect them to. They're very saddened. They're very heartbroken. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the family. It's such a tragic event at such a time of the year that should be celebratory. And I just think that they're handling it the best way that they know how, and we are trying to meet their needs the best way that we know how. This is not something that you necessarily plan for, and when it comes time to deal with it, you do the best that you can. And we just hope that we've been able to provide a service to our student body today and to our staff that will be conducive to their coping and helping them to get through this terrible situation.
I mean, it's the end of the school year, and we have just a few short days left, and some may think that even with the class of 2017, this is something that will unfortunately stay in their memories for as long as they can remember. But losing anybody is terrible, but losing somebody this young and this bright and talented is definitely something that will be hard to forget anytime soon. She'll leave a legacy here at the high school and in these hallways, just like the class of 2017, but hers will be a little more special, I think.
You may have noticed the flag out front of the school placed at half-staff in her honor. The school had grief counselors on hand, and some of those same pastors who spoke at yesterday's baccalaureate ceremony. They also set the library up as an area where students could come and talk about Maddie and share their thoughts and feelings on her passing. And as for funeral services for young Maddie, they're yet to be set. Her body was sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy and is to be returning home soon. As for now, they are incomplete, but at least a partial announcement coming up in our obituaries in just a few moments, as we learn that services will be falling under the direction of the Saggersville Funeral Home. Start off a new calendar with the new week. That's a new McGoffin County Farm Bureau community calendar. Starts off with a baby shower. This is not your normal baby shower. Expecting moms or mothers of newborns, 3 months of age, who reside in McGoffin County. An educational baby shower is being held in your honor, where you will learn all the importance of nutrition and wellness and about the importance of bonding with your baby and what to avoid during your pregnancy as well. Free lunch will be provided, and each participant gets a free gift bag. However, you have to RSVP to be eligible for the door prizes and the gift bags. And each participant is also allowed to bring one guest. It's going to be Thursday of this week. That's this Thursday for 2 hours, 1 o'clock till 3 at the McGoffin County Health Department. To RSVP, 889-0328 is the number to call. The extension is 4205. And remember, you can always call the health department if you need some more information at 349-6212. A Hunter Education Range Day is going to be held. The Kentucky Hunter Education Range Day, the orange card, is scheduled for here in McGoffin County at the Extension Service on the 20th. I know it's a few days away, but you have to pre-register. It's going to start at 9 o'clock that morning, and it's a class for those who have completed the course online through fyky.gov, or those who have completed the CD. And you have to provide a signed certificate showing that you've completed one or the other to complete the range day. It's sponsored by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and it includes live fire and all guns, ammo, eye, and hearing protection, all provided by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. Pre-registration, though, is required. To do so, call 349-2018 or 349-7130. There's going to be a special presentation done by the Regional Prevention Center and Unite. This is a community substance abuse awareness education, also hosted and sponsored by the McGoffin County Safe Coalition. It's going to be in the health department, and it's going to be next week. It's on Wednesday the 17th, but I wanted to remind you now and let you know it's going to be set for 1 o'clock. I'll remind you about it between now and then. But a community substance abuse awareness education event hosted by the Safe Coalition, and I hope to have some more details about what all is going to be contained therein between now and then. But mark it down in your calendar for next Wednesday, the 17th. If you've got calendar announcements, send them in. Birthdays and anniversaries, too. Doesn't cost anything. You just got to tell me about it so I can tell everybody else. Mail to P.O. Box 1443 in Saggersville. Email to yournewstoday@yahoo.com. I'm on Facebook at Ritter Mortimer. Phone it in, fax it in, however you want to get it. Just tell me, and we'll put it on the air. Funeral service announcements for this evening. Mentioned, as I've already referred to, the passing of 18-year-old Madison Nicole Allen, Maddie Allen of Royalton, who passed away yesterday, the daughter of Samantha Allen Trout and her husband Todd, and Neil Adams. Madison, a senior at the high school in Montgomery County, about to graduate and already accepted to the Pikeville University. Funeral arrangements are still incomplete at this hour. They will be announced soon, we hope tomorrow, by the Sayersville Funeral Home. 42-year-old Tracy Dawn Horn of Inez passed away yesterday, preceded in death by her brother Jimmy Dalton. She survived by her husband John, as well as her two daughters, Lauren and Allison. Visitation is going to be tomorrow evening from 6 till 9, with services to follow Wednesday morning at 11 from the Callahan Funeral Home in Inez. I'll be right back. Now it's time to look ahead and see what Mother Nature has in store for us. And we've got, once again, we've got a little bit of everything. And clouds to showers, some sun, not as much cool or cold air as what we've seen. So maybe not everything. That's a good thing. For tonight, and we are looking at some rain, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches total rainfall over the course of your forecast period. 69 right now, and holding if you're catching the end of the early show. Should fall to about 48 degrees tonight. We'll do so under increasing clouds. A chance of showers, not on the radar right now. After 1, 2 in your morning, about a 40% threat. That will grow into a likelihood tomorrow. High pressure moving east this evening, and that's allowing a warm front to move in. We're going to see some nice temperatures. It's going to stall, and then it's going to roll into kind of a mix with an upper level disturbance, and that's what's going to give us a chance of some showers. Late tonight, overnight, tomorrow on your Tuesday, showers are likely. And we will see once again a chance of some rain adding up to a ½ inch tomorrow, and then maybe another 1/4 inch tomorrow night, and then Wednesday another chance, and well, I'll get there. 73 and 57 for your high and low tomorrow, cloudy and showers. Midweek, a slight chance of some showers and thunderstorms after 2 to the tune of 30%. Those chances start to gradually increase Wednesday night and definitely as we make our way into Thursday. But 77 and 60 for your high and low midweek, but you'll see no sunshine, just mostly cloudy skies and that threat of rain. Thursday, things start to take a dip temperature-wise down to 73 and 53 for our high and low. Chances of showers, well, we'll call it a likelihood. 60% early, 70 to 80% by Thursday night. Those showers will continue and carry on over into your Friday as well. A 50% chance. We're going to see some. I think they'll start to wind down and slack off Friday, but still a few showers. Definitely clouds. Temperatures take a hit down into the mid-60s by the end of your work week. Upper 40s for nighttime lows. And for your weekend, well, Saturday looks to be right around 70 and sunny. Now, I just said Saturday, 70 and sunny and calm altogether, just to let you make sure that it wasn't wrong. But I think a normal day on Saturday. Sunday, 72 and mostly sunny, and low 70s starting off next week with more sunshine. Hopefully a nice little run of some nice weather after a rather bumpy week between now and then. And in closing, as I referred to at the top of the hour, a few surprises and a few other things from the Montgomery County Rescue Squad auction, indictments returned by a Montgomery County grand jury, and I've got more to talk about when I see you back here for the next edition of Your News Today. For now, thank you for watching, and have a good night.